soon as I leave, it's like a trap. I hear you calling me to come back. I'm a sucker for love.
That's right, I'm tripping, baby. Sucker for love. A sucker for love. You won't do.
Okay. Y'all really want to know the real reason why fighting games don't grow along with the community? Y'all don't really know the real reason why that is. It's not because fighting games are too hard. It's not because fighting games are niche, even though they should stay niche, in my honest opinion, because once things go mainstream, they 9 times out of 10 go to shit. But the real reason why the community never grows is because there's so few personalities within it. There actually have a personality outside of I like fighting games, or I like big anime fighting game girl titties. I'm just saying, it's a fact. Or there's like the third group that goes like they can't. These dudes hate LTG so much, but they can't go one stream without talking about it. Now, sometimes we need to gatekeep. Sometimes, honestly, it keeps weirdos out. Gatekeeping is not always a bad thing. That and there's another problem. It's the fact that when fighting games are bad, like with DNF Duel, look how fast that game died. That game died almost instantaneous. Like as soon as it released, like almost 2 months after its release, that game died. But nobody wants to say it. That's because that fighting game was way too simple. It was just way too brain dead. Like even the most mediocre of like what was his face? Got it. That game had so many forgettable characters. What's his face? Swiftmaster, right? Everybody remembers how broken Swiftmaster was. Everybody knew how brain dead that character was, right? That character was a menace. Even the most mediocre player can actually like be a threat in that game.
Damn it.
Anyways.
Round 2.
We need new players. What kind of new players? That's a good question. Players that actually have a personality outside of I like fighting games and I like big anime girl titties. Because like the thirsting within the FGC is ridiculous. And they wonder why don't I have success? Why am I not making on YouTube and Twitch? It's because you don't have a personality. You're not interesting. You don't edit. You don't do shit. But the Evo champions like I don't have to edit and stuff like that, and they're almost partnered. Yeah, and even for them, like even for persons like IDOM and shit, like they're just Evo winners. They're not actually like that really interesting, to be honest with you. There's nothing that stands out for their content other than like being good at Street Fighter. That's it. Mash this. Mash that DP. But I'm just being honest. The reason why IDOM isn't partnered yet because none of his content is really interesting other than just being good at Street Fighter. And people wondering why like getting mad at LTG for succeeding where they're failing. Because LTG, like I don't give a damn if y'all like him or don't, but like y'all cannot deny like his editing is top notch. The reason why he does that because he takes the time out of doing what he's known for and learns a different skill, and I'm not running that back. Because they're not standing out as content creators. They're not standing out as personalities. They're just standing out as Street Fighter players. That's it. And plus, like, man, I just can't take somebody serious when their whole personality is just like, I like anime and I like fighting games. That's just it. Like, I can stand out and do my own content. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't made the time to do that yet. The only reason why I'm not as successful as I am right now, because I'm not taking the time to do what is necessary to do those steps. Like, I'm learning live fighting games, but it gets boring after a while, right? I want to try stuff outside of that. I want to be like a person with depth. I want to be like some sort of static character on YouTube where I don't grow outside of just what I'm known for. Like, even with my series, like Filling His Thoughts, right? I'm trying different shit. Even though it's fighting game related, at least I'm doing stuff outside of that. Besides just uploading random like fighting game clips. And I'm just going to keep experimenting. But that's the thing a lot of people are not doing, and they're wondering why they're not getting success. Because a lot of them are fucking lazy. I hate to say it, but it's true. Blaze Blue Strike, I really don't care about either of those games, to be honest with you. I haven't really been caring about any fighting game besides Street Fighter 4, and that's weighing because of the lack of a rollback netcode. I really wanted to try Street Fighter 6, but I didn't get a beta code. So there's that. That kind of just made my whole mood just change. But that's the biggest flaw that fighting game community has. You know, I'm not a part of the fighting game community anymore, but I can see it. I can see when I was in there, and I can see it now that I'm gone. And this is the things that Maximilian Dude won't tell you. This is the things that your mainstream FGC niggas won't tell you. You wanna know why? Because they fear their audience. And another thing I don't like about the FGC is how they treat hardcore fighting game players. The people that made this shit possible in the first place, they treat them like they're strangers. Now that the casual audience has this shit, there's no need for the hardcore. There's no need for the hardcore players anymore. There's no need for them, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting when I see people be treated like shit now. Like, let's say, for example, damn, the name is leaving me. I know who I'm talking about. I just can't. Oh yeah, now I remember. Short Fuse Gaming. Now I see people like Short Fuse that did so much content for KOF 13, for those hardcore fighting games, and made those tutorials that took the time out of their day for literally nothing. And people appreciated it at the time. But now that KOF 15's out and everybody knows that game is bare bones as shit, now they got no use for them. And you know what the thing that these new players will say? And you wanna know what the most disgusting thing about these people will say today? About like how like the OGs can just go back to their fighting games. Well, they don't have rollback netcode. They don't have official releases. And then when they point that out, they go like, well, it's just let the past be the past. And the casual players acting like they own this shit now. That's the craziest thing. If it wasn't for the OGs, fighting games would even be here in the fucking first place. You wanna know why fighting games even got a platform now? Because those OGs put in work. They couldn't look up like on YouTube. Well, YouTube didn't even exist back in those old days, like in the early 2000s. You couldn't look it up. You had to authentically make this shit up as you go. You had to experiment from scratch, pretty much. You had to ask like your neighbor. You had to ask like your friend, like on the phone and shit, like how you do this, how you do plinking, how you do like car cancels. Like you know what I mean. I don't know every exact terminology. I'm not extremely hardcore, but I respect the hardcore community more than anything because they the ones that flipped the table on this shit. If it wasn't for them, fighting games would more than likely be dead. they will more than likely be dead. And it is so disgusting, man, that I'm seeing this. Like, I'm just seeing this kind of treatment getting towards like the hardcore audience. And plus, like, before even anybody says they're trying to strawman me, because I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I bet money somebody's going to try to strawman me, go like in the comment section, go like, but the hardcore community is a small community. Okay, it's the community that also made this shit possible. One hardcore fighting game in the sea of casual fighting games, especially nowadays, is not going to kill the whole fighting game genre. So, I mean, quit that. I mean, why can't we have rollback for Street Fighter 4? I'll tell you why. It would have killed Street Fighter 5. It would have killed it. And Street Fighter 4 was not perfect at all. It wasn't perfect. I mean, hell, Elena was in the game. That says enough. But you know what happens when a bad player picks a godlike character in Street Fighter 4? They still gonna get their shit mopped because they can't rely on a YOLO V trigger like they can in Street Fighter 5. Even like even when I played against people that are playing like the best characters, guess what happens? They still gonna get their ass whooped if they're bad, if they're terrible, if they don't know what they're doing, if they don't know a single combo, they more than likely gonna get their ass whooped. And oh, let me get into this. Let me tell you another reason why fighting games will not grow. I'll tell you why the fighting game community does not grow. People are way too fucking concerned about winning 24/7 non-stop. It's either you win or you're irrelevant. It's like, if even with me making these complaints right now, people will go like, have you won a single Evo? Have you won a single tournament? Have you ever been to a tournament? Have you ever faced IDOM in the first of 5? Oh my god. Dude, you're like an ultra platinum, even though you got like diamond like 3 to 4 times on all separate occasions, and you don't care about this game anymore, but you're ultra platinum. Come on. Like, seriously? Just win a tournament, you dumb scrub. And then I might take you seriously. I mean, if you want to win a tournament, you gotta play the best of the best. Come on. I gotta take your opinion seriously, even though I would agree if Daigo, Sanford Kelly, or any other of these top FGC players said the same things that you did. But the fact is, you didn't win enough, so therefore your opinion is invalidated. Ha! I win! Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! Fucking childish. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's like there's no room for the hardcore audience anymore. It's just, man, it's like they get nothing. Pretty much. I actually want to play Street Fighter 4. I want to play Street Fighter 3 Online Edition, but that's not going to happen. Because you want to know why? Because Street Fighter 5 exists. Unfortunately. Yeah, but who's gonna fund it, Venom? That's the question. Who's gonna fund it? You know, Maximilian Dude ain't gonna fund that shit. Maximilian Dude is like completely in the casuals' hands right now. I just hate to say it, but it's true. I mean, the moment I stop taking Maximilian Dude seriously or stop respecting him entirely, I'm not gonna knock his past achievements. That's irrelevant. Now, I got mad respect for his past achievements. I'm not going to take that away from him. But at the same time, I'm not going to take this dude serious. He would throw anybody under the bus if it means money. Money. And honesty was one of them. I mean, look at like Street Fighter 5 when that game first released. He was still making excuses going like, well, the casuals matter too. Yeah, and functionality also matters too. Identity also matters too. The hardcore audience also matters too. I don't care if they're small or not. The fact that they even made this stuff possible should say something. Like there should be a balance. It shouldn't be like, oh, just hardcore fighting games only, and it shouldn't be just casual fighting games only. It should be a balance somewhere. Nobody that's been a long time fan of Guilty Gear is gonna be willing to play Street Fighter. Damn, I'm getting them confused because they feel the exact same. Just the difference is Guilty Gear Strive has a good netcode, but nobody wants to play a footsie game all day with just Guilty Gear Strive. That's the main thing I be hearing, like, as a defense for Guilty Gear Strive. It's like, it's a footsie game. It's a slow, more balanced game. It's a well-paced game. Okay, it's also going to be the most boring game you ever play after a while. Like, man, I almost fell asleep once playing Guilty Gear Strive. And the only reason why I haven't been playing Rev 2, well, it's a hard game to get into. But that's a me problem. I can get into it, like, if I make enough time to do so. It's just ridiculous, man. It's like there's they make no room for the hardcore audience anymore. They might as well just be dead in their eyes. But man, I just want, all I want is just a balance. It's just a balance. Is that too hard to ask? Just keep the casual games that were casual. There's nothing wrong with Dragon Ball Z Fighters being a thing. There's nothing wrong with that in of itself, but it does become a problem where there's already a sea of casual games when there's no hardcore game to incite. Street Fighter 6 is honestly the closest thing to a hardcore fighting game in almost over 10 years, in almost a decade, because it actually has a semi-fair mechanic with like a drive impact and drive rush. It's semi-fair. It can be sort of cheap, if depending on how you use it, but at least, like, it's not like the mere activation itself is gonna make you think, I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna have to guess. Yeah, you're right. Neutral is the gateway to hype. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, it's like when you have like these counters and stuff like that, Street Fighter 5 and Guilty Gear Strive, when they prioritize your normals that you already threw out, it's lame. It's lame as fuck. The reason why like Street Fighter 4 was so hype, and the reason why there was so much identity, because like there were some players that, and honestly, that could beat me just with neutral alone. They don't even have to use a special move against me. When I say a game player just beat me with just normals, I have no choice but to respect it. I have absolutely no choice but to respect that. But it's just too many people. There's just too many like people that are up there at the top that's just sold out. Honestly, yeah, I hate to say it, but it's true. But because like every time when you have like a negative opinion about something, like, oh my god, you sound like LTG. Oh my god, it's just you complain about everything, don't you? Oh my god, like, oh my god. Have you not watched like a single tutorial? Dude, just go watch Red, them fighting game tuber, and watch him how he plays. What nerve. The entitlement is unreal. Come on, man. Come on, man. One hardcore game out of the sea of like casual games throughout the years, just one, and that's too much to ask. Ridiculous. Even with like Street Fighter 4 getting real bad, some people are going like, let's just let the past be the past. Even though Street Fighter 4, if y'all actually look at my channel deeply, just look at my first page. Look at my first page on my YouTube. Street Fighter 4 has given me more support than Street Fighter 5 ever has. Ever. Like, I literally hit my first 1K video with Street Fighter 4, and I did it twice. I got 3.3K with the Makoto, and I got 1.8K with like Dead Ace's Goken. Like, that should say something, man. People want this game people want rollback for Street Fighter 4. And it still isn't happening, and it's making me mad. Like, I'm trying to play the games that I actually enjoy, but guess what? I can't do it. Because a lot of the matches are going to lag, and people are just going to tell me, like, oh my god, just deal with it, or just play Street Fighter 5. Just play Street Fighter 5 and be happy. Be happy that Capcom listens to their audience. Fucking joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Have you never heard of Fightcade? Yeah, I heard of Fightcade. Just hardly nobody's on there because, like, those old school games hasn't got an official re-release. It just upsets me, man. And I'm not saying, oh, every new game is bad. I'm not saying that. Guilty Gear Strive is okay. It has a really good netcode. I'm not gonna lie to you. The art style is dope. It's just that the game is oversimplified for my taste. It's oversimplified as fuck. When you really figure out how the game works, it's just ABC combos, Roman cancel, ABC combo, super, that's it. It's just boring. Even with Rev 2, even though as mercilessly I was getting my butt whooped, I had more fun in that game than I did in Strive. I just haven't took the time to really learn that game yet. I've just been mainly focusing on Street Fighter 4. And also Skullgirls, a game I really like. I just haven't took the time to actually really learn that game in a real in-depth way. Because I've been caring more about Street Fighter 4. Skullgirls is godlike. Has a really good netcode. Has like a really great art style. An unforgettable cast. And characters with real personalities. Unlike with DNF Duel. There's some fighting games that I like that are in the present day. It's just a lot of them I don't like. I'm not just going to BS you when I know for a fact that it's inferior to its predecessors. And that's all there is to it. I'm not going to just fake that shit.
To sell what it sounds like, but we dealing with music. So what I did was I said, all right, look, I'm gonna come with the angle of it don't matter what I look like, you know, it don't matter what the artist look like, it's more what the artist sound like. So the mask really represents the whole, like, to rebel against trying to sell the product as a human being, you know what I mean? It's more of a sound. So, you know, and at the same time, it's something different, you know what I'm saying? And it fits with the theme of the rebel, the villain, where, you know, to him, he don't care about the fame and all that shit. That shit is, there's no consequence, you know what I mean? It's more of the message of what's being said. So I think it helps people focus